Which driver is better? The old versus the new. Callaway versus Callaway. The Callaway Epic Flash driver against the Epic Max driver. So stay tuned to the very end to find out which one comes out on top and is the better driver. Just before we dive into this video, I just want to clarify that these two drivers were set to the exact same loft with the same shaft and also the same setting on the driver. They were both low spinning heads with 8 degrees of loft, and I was able to use, because it's a Callaway and this was my current driver, this Fujikura 2.0 Pro Tour 8X shaft. Right, let's get these bad boys out. It's actually quite difficult without the shaft being on to get them out. The Epic Flash. Let's pop that there then, so it's nice and stable. And I'm gonna take this one out as well. There we go, just about got it. And this one is the Epic Max LS. Let's start things off with the looks and feel of these two golf clubs. The head size between these two golf clubs is different. With the Epic Flash, I found this driver head was a little bit smaller to look at, whereas with the Epic Max LS seemed to be a little bit bigger. The colour schemes with these two, you can see here that the Epic Flash has this slight sort of yellow, green and black finish to it, whereas with the Epic Max LS it's this sort of green, white and black finish. I like the look of both of them, how they've sort of changed from this yellow sort of look to the white look. It's pretty smart. You can obviously see the different finishes on the crown of the head as well. You've got the yellow on the Epic Flash and you've also got the white on the Epic Max. The strike. Both of these two drivers felt great when you strike them out the center of the face. However, I personally felt that this older version, the Epic Flash, came out on top when you struck them out the center. However, when you hit off-centered shots from the toe, from the heel, top and bottom of the face, the Epic Max LS came out much better with way more accurate results. I found with the Epic Flash, when you hit this out the toe with the heel, it felt pretty horrendous. I didn't really like the feel of it at all, and you could see the difference in terms of distance, dispersion and accuracy when you hit them off center. I did 3 different tests with these. I went onto the GCqad, I went onto the driving range, and I also took these two bad boys out on the golf course to gather different types of data. Starting things off with the GCqad, I was there to gather data from distance and dispersion. So distances, I found that what came out on top the most was the Epic Max LS driver, only by a couple of yards in carry distance and total distance. And with the dispersion, I found with the Epic Flash, I noticed a lot more shots being hit towards the left and a couple blocked out towards the right. But on the whole, they did go a lot to the left. And I'm not entirely sure why that was compared to the Max LS, because that one was a bit more consistent. It didn't go as far to the left with my bad shots, and I was able to hit more straight down the fairway. Dispersion with this one was much better and the distance went further. Moving on to the driving range, I noticed a big difference in terms of the ball flight. With the Epic Flash, they went a lot lower, a little bit more penetrating, and to be honest, they did look like they went further as well when I hit them on the center off the face. But obviously from the GCqad results, it kind of disagrees with that. But what I noticed with the Epic Max, I hit a couple of shots to the right, but also a lot higher in flight. For me personally, when I see the higher ball flight, I think, right, okay, once it hits its peak, it's just gonna drop. Whereas with this, it was nice and penetrating, and once it hit its peak height, it carried on as it was going down. Going back to direction, I noticed very similar results from I gathered from the GCqad. The dispersion, if I was to go out there and check all the balls out, I would personally say that the Epic Max came out on top with the dispersion being a lot tighter, with the Epic Flash going a lot more to the left. Moving on to the final test I did out on the golf course. I took these two bad boys out to Delamere Forest. I hit some shots on the 2nd, 3rd, and even the 18th hole. With the Epic Flash, I really struggled to hit that that one straight. I was pulling them straight left. Luckily though, I wasn't using any Pro V1s, I was just using some balls I had in my golf bag. With the Epic Max, I found it a lot more consistent. I noticed that higher ball flight, but I also noticed the dispersion from these was a lot tighter. When I was addressing the club, I did feel a lot more relaxed with this bigger head. If I don't hit it out the center, I'm still gonna get away with off-centered shots. Whereas with this one, I was sort of in the back of my mind going, you need to hit this well, otherwise it's gonna go miles left. And it did that anyway. But moving on to the final hole, the Epic Flash hit two really, really nice penetrating drives down the last, but I also hit a very, very similar, if not exactly the same drive with the Epic Max. Out on the golf course, I would much prefer to use this Max LS driver over the Flash LS driver. Easier to hit, more reliable, just hitting more fairways, and I felt more comfortable hitting the driver. If you want to purchase a driver and you're looking to see what's better, whether it's an older version of the same type or the newer version of the same type, clearly the newer version does come out on top. I am a big believer in new equipment does make a difference. I've noticed that with loads of different drivers such as the Stealth, the Rogue ST Max driver, which I'm going to be comparing against this Epic Max LS driver very, very soon, so stay tuned for that one. Also, it's certainly worth checking out, and why not comment down below to let me know your thoughts on this. Would you personally go for a new driver now after seeing this review, or would you stick to a second-hand driver? If you've enjoyed this video, why not check out this video here where I test a 15-year-old driver. So click here and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.